mathematics. Mathematics is a symbolic mathematical computation program, sometimes called a computer algebra program, used in many scientific, engineering, mathematical, and computing fields. And mathematics is the science and study of quality, structure, space, and change. Mathematicians seek out patterns, formulate new conjectures, and establish truth by rigorous deduction from appropriately chosen axioms and definitions. There is debate over whether mathematical objects such as number and point exist natural or are human creation. And also, mathematics simply means to learn or to study or gain knowledge. The theories or concepts given in mathematics help us understand and solve various types of problems in academic as well as in real life situations. Mathematics is a subject of logic. Learning mathematics will help students to grow their problem solving and logical reasoning skills. Solving mathematical problem is one of the best brain exercise.
Let's discuss and give example of Fibonacci sequence and plants or floras. So what is Fibonacci number or Fibonacci sequence? This sequence was named after the famous mathematician Leonardo Fibonacci. This number sequence is a simple yet profound pattern. Based on Fibonacci's rabbit problem, the biologically unrealistic rabbit problem to be exact. This sequence begins with the number 1 and 1, and then each subsequent number is determined by adding the two numbers that precedes it. Therefore, after 1 and 1, the next number is 2, which is the sum of 1 plus 1. The next number is 3. It is the sum of 1 plus 2. And then 5, 8, 13, 21, 34, and so on. The numbers in a sequence are often seen in nature. That's why this sequence is also called the nature's secret code or nature's universal code. As we observe for this example, that the number of spiral in the spine cone is 8, and 8 is one of the Fibonacci number, the sum of 3 and 5. The number of this sequence is also form a unique shape known as the Fibonacci spiral. You can see that also in nature in the form of leaves that grows in spiral. More examples like the pineapple proceeds in a sunflower. The most common is the number of petals of a flower.
So the Fibonacci sequence is also related in the golden ratio. So the golden ratio is often denoted by the Greek letter phi. This is approximately equal to 1.618. So the golden ratio can be expressed as the ratio between two numbers. Okay, look at that. So we have the formula A over B is equal to A plus B over A. So the golden ratio in nature, so we have a painting, painting of Leonardo da Vinci, the Mona Lisa, and we have another Notre Dame in Cathedral and Parthenon. So this is the example of the golden ratio in nature. And find the indicated term of the Fibonacci sequences. So the ninth term is 1 plus 1 equals 2, 2 plus 3 equals 5, 5 plus 3 equals 8, 8 plus 5 equals 13, 13 plus 8 equals 21. 21 plus 13 equals 34. And 34 is our 9th term. So, and now, the fifth term. 55 plus 89 equals 144. 144 plus 233 equals 377. And 233 plus 377 equals 610.
Now, let's take a look at some other patterns that can be found in nature, particularly in plants or floras. First is, what is pattern in nature? So pattern in nature are visible regularities of form found in the natural world. If we say regularities, it means happening very often. These patterns recur or occur constantly in a different context and can sometimes be modeled mathematically. So some of the examples of patterns that can be seen in nature or plants are the following: symmetry, fractals, tessellation, minder, chaos pattern or chaos theory, and branching pattern. So here are the 5 lists or 5 objects in nature and its observable patterns. Number 1, leaves or any kind of leaves. So the observable pattern that can be seen in leaves are symmetry, branching pattern, fractals, and chaos pattern. So sa symmetry is the quality of something that has two sides or halves that are the same. As we observe in this leaf, the side of it mirrors the other side, or it's symmetrical. So branching pattern. The branching appears in position over time and the way it is distributed in growth unit. So as we look in this picture, in this leaf, the veins of this leaf represent branching pattern, just like in trees, or the branch of trees. The next observable patterns that can be seen in leaves is fractals. So fractals refers to infinite self-similar iterated mathematical construct having fractal dimension. So as we look at this picture, as we look at this fern's leaf, its leaflet represents the whole plant, or the leaflet looks like a miniature version of the whole plant. It's self-similar, that's why it falls under fractals. So next pattern in leaves is chaos pattern or chaos theory. So it states that within the apparent randomness of a chaotic complex system, there are underlying patterns, interconnectedness, and repetition. So as we observe in this picture, this leaf, at first glance, it is chaotic or messy, but as we look closer to it, there's a pattern in it. You just need to observe and look even closer. Now, number 2 object in nature or plants with their observable pattern is flower. So the observable patterns in flower are symmetry, Fibonacci number or sequence, and tessellation. As we look at this picture, this flower is symmetrical. Each side mirrors the other side, and it contains number of petals that can be seen in Fibonacci sequence. It has also tessellation pattern, like in this picture. Tessellation refers to a pattern created with identical shape fit together with no gaps, like this one. This is a snake head fritillary, and it has tessellated checkerboard pattern in their petals. So number 3 plant or object is fruits. So the observable pattern in fruits, or that can be seen in fruits, are tessellations. So as we observe in this picture, the pineapple, it has some tessellated shape that fits together with no gaps. Also in this picture, so the fruit in the picture is called the snake fruit, and it has shapes that looks like a fish scales that fits together with no gap. That's why it has a tessellation pattern. So the next object in nature is bonsai. The observable pattern in bonsai is minder pattern. So minder pattern refers to the sinuous bend pattern. As we look closer at this bonsai, it bends in S form. That's why the Minder pattern is visible in it. So the next object in nature is trees and lichen. These two different plants has similar visible pattern in them, and that pattern is branching pattern. So as we look at these two plants, both plants have branches that appears in every parent branch from time to time. So that's the 5 example of object in nature and their observable patterns.